Hey y'all, welcome to Heritage Ways and welcome to Project 54, where we are cooking all summer long, 54 consecutive cooking videos, and this is number 40. 40. This week we are wrapping up Southern classics. Last night I was going to bring you buttermilk biscuits, but life happened and few sniffly noses around here and Mama was needed, and so Dad took over last night, so I hope you don't mind. I know you are very gracious and supportive of Mr. Patient making his favorite biscuits from when he grew up as a Southern boy. All right, tonight I'm going to bring you green beans. Now, these are Southern green beans, and here's the thing, y'all. I'm bi-regional. I'm half Northern, half Southern. We've talked about that. It's kind of a fun conversation that we had about that. My northern cousins, my cousins who have lived most of their lives in the north, they lived in the south a little bit, but my daddy's side of the family, I was talking to one of them the other day and I said something about Southern style green beans and they said, we don't know what that is. And I said, oh my stars, let me enlighten you. So now just know these are cooked different than other kinds of green beans. We are going to use canned green beans. We'll talk about all that in a minute. I'm glad you're here. We're episode 40, Southern style green beans. Alright, I know y'all will be understanding if I have to turn on my fan, so that's where I'm going to head right now. Alright, I love my Vornado fan. It's quiet, but it circulates some air. So if you hear a little hum, that's what's going on. Now, what else is going on is a whole bunch of stuff here on my butcher block. When I share a recipe or a method or whatever, I like to tell different options. I like to tell why I'm doing things and that sort of thing. If this is not your style, you want a quick and easy 30-second how to make a recipe, then this probably isn't your style. This probably is going to frustrate you. But if you want to learn the whys, the hows, the options, the alternatives, the variations, and especially I like to talk to new cooks or folks who are new to a particular dish, because it will give them some new ideas. So, and in essence, that's one reason why we started this channel, because our middle son, Morgan, said, Mama, there's so many girls my age that don't know how to cook. Please help the world. So that was years ago when he first went out into the workforce, about 16, 17, 18 years old. So I'm trying to help the world. Okay, now, we are going to use today, okay, let me say there's different ways to cook green beans, and depending on if they're fresh, they're frozen, or they're canned. Today I wanted fresh to bring you fresh green beans that I had just snapped with baby or new potatoes, but my car's in the shop and I couldn't get to the store or the market. And I didn't feel like walking to the market, which is within walking distance. These beans today were given to me, shared by my dad's wife, and she put them up. She's a great canner, a great baker, and her pies, oh my stars. But anyway, she gave me these green beans. I think they're Blue Lake. I'm not sure, but I think they're Blue Lake green beans. And she put them up last year, and she wanted them out of the way so she could can some more this year. So today we are using the home canned green beans. Now, let's talk about some other things before we put it all in the pot. Let's talk about hog jaw. Please forgive me, I forgot to put on my apron. I wasn't thinking.
It's time to hone our hospitality skills with a table tip. It is so nice to be able to use cloth napkins rather than paper, and this also saves money.
All right, now I'm ready to talk about hog jaw. And let me say too, if I can get my hands on a mess of fresh beans, then I want to cook those for you too, because I do that just a little bit differently. Hog jaw, and you hear me saying J-A-W because that's what we're used to saying. I'm from the South, and that's what we're used to saying down there. It is spelled J-O-W-L, and when it has been cured, it's a cut from the pig's cheek, and when it has been cured, it's referred to as bacon or jaw bacon, J-O-W-L bacon. Anyway, so it's going to taste like bacon, and you can substitute bacon or a piece of ham or ham hock. That's great too. So like I said, this is more of a method than a recipe today. Oh my stars. Oh my stars. That is from my favorite Amish market. Oh my stars. Smoked hog jaw. Alright, I'm just going to cut a piece, a few little slices off. And think of it like bacon. This is cured. So I'm doing 2 quarts, and I'm going to do, I don't know, that's probably 4 ounces of hog jaw. By the way, this hog jaw was 95 cents a pound. So if you wanted to substitute this instead of bacon, if you wanted bacon or bacon flavorings, just know that hog jaw is cheaper. You can leave it sliced. I'm just going to put it in, chop it in cubes, or just chop it. Alright, my next thing is an onion. I've got a Vidalia, because you know what I think about Vidalias. I think they are #1, and you can't beat them with a great big stick. So I'm going to use half of a Vidalia, chopped. Okay, now I feel the need to share why I feel like I'm qualified to talk to y'all about Southern style green beans. #1, born and bred, been eating them for years. #2, I'm a former caterer, and this is one of the side dishes that I served. And #3, I was given special insider soul food cooking tips from one of the dearest ladies that I knew growing up. I guess she's passed on, I don't know. An African-American lady who knew how to cook some soul food, y'all. She was also a Christian member of the church not far from us. And I worked with her at Walmart. So Georgia, I don't know if Georgia's still around. Georgia and I had a blast. I worked at Walmart in the 80s during high school, and she was there working as the clothing manager, and she and I had a blast together. So we would talk a lot, and even, you know, y'all know I've always enjoyed talking about food and cooking, and Georgia taught me some good soul food tips of how to cook green beans, and I'll never forget it. So that's what we are incorporating today, Georgia's tips. Alright, I have put my hog jaw in here and my onions, and we're going to turn this between medium high. We're going to start to render that fat, cook those onions. Now this is one of the recipe, probably the one recipe maybe, that I do not give measurements in this video. I guess I probably should, but I'll try. I've never measured how to, you know, when I'm making good southern food or soul food or down home food or any of that kind of thing. Alright, we're just going to render that fat. It's starting to render. It's at this point I'm going to go ahead and do quite a bit of fresh black pepper. Get yourself a black pepper grinder. And that may have been a teaspoon, I don't know, maybe a teaspoon and a half. That's to your liking, because you might not like a lot of pepper. I'm going to go ahead and put that's probably a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I'll be adding some more. Already smells delicious. Now, I'm not interested in the bacon turning brown or cooking all the way, because it's going to cook while the beans are cooking. I'm turning it down below medium. And at this point, I'm going to go ahead, I would have waited, but I'm going to go ahead and add about 1/4 cup of oil. Now, I'm using avocado oil. You can use coconut, grapeseed. I personally don't recommend olive oil or vegetable or canola. That's my preference. Okay, we're going to surprise you here. We're also going to add about a 1/4 cup of butter. Since these are already cooked, I'm not adding all the liquid. I poured off just a little bit, but I'm putting my beans and my liquid in here. My 2 quarts of beans. Okay, now remember I told y'all this is Southern style, okay? I'm putting about 1/4 cup of brown sugar. And I'm putting about 1/4 cup of my organic pure cane sugar. You heard me right. And I'm probably going to put another teaspoon of salt. I assume she put salt in these beans when she canned them. So, the salt thing would change if you were cooking the raw or the fresh, which I hope we can do some point. I'm going to bring this up to a boil and then turn the heat down. Cook it. Cook it, cook it, cook it. Now these are already cooked. I'm just needing to get all the flavors good and get married and stuff and cook them down some more. I'm going to say cook it for a low simmer for maybe 45 minutes, but that is just really up to you. You want it good. You want those beans glazed. You want that liquid cooked down. Then I'm going to tell you what we're going to do with the okra. This has been cooking for 40 minutes. For the first 20, I had it a little bit lower, maybe more close to low. And for the last 20, I turned it up and it's closer to medium. So I'm going to show you what we do now with okra. This is one of the many ways you can cook okra, but I love it steamed. I love it steamed on top of the beans, and I don't take the stem off. It's washed, but I don't take the stem off because I don't want the okra to become, I don't know another word other than to say slimy, and that's not good. But I want it to steam, and so I leave that stem end on, and then I will show you how I enjoy it. But I just put it on top. I'm not necessarily wanting to immerse this in the water because I am wanting this steamed, and it's going to be so good. So I'm going to say probably maybe another 10 minutes or so, but I'm going to put this lid on. Now, Little Miss Homemaker makes these wonderful handmade pot holders to sell, and this is one way that she earns money, and you can learn all about that in the link I'll put down below. She uses what we call heritage colors, which are the brown and natural neutral schemes of colors, or scheme of colors. So you might check that out. Made in America loops out of New England. This is an old one that our older sons made years ago, but you know, those good hot pads, pot holders that last forever. Okay, so like I said, I'm just gonna, it's already starting to show signs of being cooked, so I'm going to go ahead and just cover that, and I'm going to put it, I do have a gas stove, and that makes a difference. I'm putting it a little bit closer to low, and I'm going to put the timer on for 10 minutes. All right. There's our beans. They cooked about, counting the 10 minutes with the okra on top, it cooked 50 minutes if you need a, you know, something for your reference. All right, now this business with the okra on top, that is optional, obviously. That is just, you know, if you have fresh beans and you have okra, it's just another nice way to make okra, in my opinion. I love it like this. So I'm just going to put this in here, and we're going to talk about that okra first. All right. Now, we'll go ahead and dish up some beans too. Then I'll get this pot out of the way. But see, they're good and just cook down like southern beans. I'm just going to put a little bit in my bowl to try it here. Okay, now this is what I do. This is how I eat the okra. Now, our family prefers fried okra as a whole. I have a video explaining how to cook southern fried okra, so you should check that video out. But I just take my steamed okra when I have it like this, and I'm just going to go ahead and cut that tip off, that stem tip, and discard that. And just set that to the side, and then I've got my steamed okra, and I'm just going to cut it into bite-sized pieces. You would do this at the plate if you had a bunch of this to serve. Now, I add hot sauce on top of it. Oh, I just made a mess. Okay. All right, let's clean that up. That is how I eat the okra portion. I love this. By the way, okra is very healthy for you, y'all. Oh, yes. My first of the season, and I love it. So I'm going to get it with a bite of those green beans here. Oh, yeah, now get it with some of that hog jaw. Y'all, that is super good. Can I just stand here and be rude and eat in front of y'all? I'll give you some if you come to my house. Oh, good southern green beans. Woo-hoo! Can you believe I'm not a green bean lover? But this is how good these are. Alright, now, I hope you'll try this. This is Southern Classics. I had so many other Southern Classic ideas and recipes to bring to y'all this week, but the week is only 5 days long as far as our filming is concerned. But next week is vintage suppers, and we're just going to have some vintage things that I remember from the 60s and 70s, and some of them may still be Southern classics. So I hope you'll join me for that. And then the week after that is canning season week, y'all. That week is going to be canning videos. I've already recorded 2 of those for us, so I hope that is helpful too. So stay tuned for that. Please make sure you're subscribed, because I know you want to be able to join us at our after party, our August 27th, and I know you're going to want to be able to comment in that live chat and ask questions and so forth, and only subscribers will be have that privilege. So I know that you're going to be subscribed. Well, I'm going to call the kids in for supper. I've heated up some leftover roast beef and carrots as well. So I will see y'all on Monday, Lord willing. So I hope you have a great weekend. Be blessed. And thank you so much for being here today. What episode is this? It's 35, 36, 37, 38, 40. Episode 40. Okay, we can do this. Here we go. Hey y'all, welcome to Heritage Ways, and welcome to Project 54, episode 4. So today we have canned green beans. These are my daddy's wives. No, he doesn't have more than one wife at one time. Okay, wait a minute. These beans today, but next week is vintage. What am I calling it?